Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie, and if you are new here, please do subscribe. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my Peak Design items that I picked up recently. Now I actually bought these around 5 weeks ago, so I didn't do an unboxing because I was staying at a friend's house. But I'm just going to show you kind of my first impressions, I guess, and show you what I bought and show you around the items. I'm also going to show you what fits inside this bag. So I got the Peak Design 6 litre Everyday Sling in grey. I also got the wrist strap, and I also got the camera strap, like the neck strap. So I'm going to talk to you about all three of these items, but I'm going to start off with the bag, the main event, the main item. I'm going to leave the price on screen because I can't quite remember how much this was, but the reason I bought this was because it's kind of a small, sleek design. I also like the fact that it comes in grey, because a lot of camera bags are black and quite manly and not very pretty looking, and even though this isn't super pretty, I don't want anything pink and glitzy, I still think it's a really sleek and nice and minimal design and perfect for travelling. So I got the 6 litre because it seemed like the best fit for what I wanted in terms of my camera equipment. However, I think maybe the 10 could have been good for packing things like a water bottle, extra batteries, and just kind of sunglasses, sun cream, anything like that extra. Maybe the 10 litre would have been good, but I also think it would have been quite big as well, and I like the small compact size of this one, of the 6 litre. So I'm going to talk you through it a little bit. So the front here, there is a pocket. Well, actually there's a Peak Design logo here with like a brown leather, which I think is lovely. And in this pocket, it's quite tight, honestly. You kind of have to pull it open to get anything out. I've just kind of got some accessories that came with the bag. So these straps actually go on the bottom of the bag, and it means that you can strap something like a tripod, a water bottle, an umbrella, anything like that underneath. I've not actually used this yet, as you can see. Maybe that's something I will play with at some point. And I also have some spare of the kind of toggle things that Peak Design do. So that's in the front pocket here. Now I would say it is quite tight to get in there, so it's not somewhere I would put anything like a phone or batteries, memory cards, because it is quite hard to get in there. It's more just things that you might use at some point, but not something that you're going to use every single day. So that's in the front pocket there. And then we have the main pocket with 2 zips. Now these zips go quite far down, all the way down to the bottom actually. But when you open the bag, it doesn't fall open and nothing falls out, because it's got these structural pieces here that keep it somewhat open but also somewhat closed, so things aren't just going to spill out and fall out, and you're not going to worry about breaking any expensive gear, which is perfect. Now on the inside there is a zip along the top here. It says Peak Design Everyday Sling 6 litre. And in here it's got 4 spaces, so you can put batteries in there. I've just got my kind of camera batteries. You could also put memory cards maybe. I've also got a lipstick in this little pocket, not a lipstick, lip balm, sorry, in this little pocket. So it's somewhere you can put little bits and pieces to do with your camera equipment in there. It's quite small, but it is also quite sizable in terms of the kind of equipment that you can fit in there. And then otherwise there's a big open space. Now these bags do come with 2 of these dividers. So otherwise it's just a big open space like this. There's kind of, you can have it either empty like that, or obviously you can use these. Now these have been specially designed, so there's Velcro on the sides to attach to the front and the back of your bag. And then it's got this kind of shelf system here, so if you wanted to, you could have maybe a smaller lens on the bottom and then another lens on top, or snacks, or an apple, whatever it is that you have in your bag. You do have this shelf system. Now that's not anything that I personally use, and I actually use one of these with my everyday kind of carry. I have my lens on one side and my camera and lens on the other side. However, if I was to travel, I would break things off, so kind of have the 2 lenses separately and the camera separately. I would use both of these to separate them, so you'd have a lens this side, the camera in the middle, and then the lens the other side. I'll show you that in a second at the end of the video. But these do come with it, which I think is great. Otherwise, like I said, you can just have a big wide open space. There is also 1 pocket either side. Now this is something that I haven't really used at the moment, to be honest. Mostly because I don't really know what to put in there. I think I once put in my empty battery in there so that I didn't confuse it with my full batteries. But otherwise I've not really used those a whole lot, but it's, it's there if you want it for pens or for, I don't know, anything kind of small and thin that would fit in there perfectly. And then at the back there's a pocket that they advertise can hold an iPad. I'm sure it can, or a Kindle I think as well. I'm sure it can, but once you have your camera equipment in there, it's quite hard to get to the back of that and get your hand in to get whatever it is out. So I think when it's empty, absolutely you can use it. When it's full, I question how easy it would be to get things out of there. For example, your phone. or a tablet or an iPad or something like that. But it is there in case you want to use it. Again, something I haven't actually used myself. So we're going to zip it back up again. And the good thing about these zips actually as well is that I can zip these all the way to the front, so that when I'm carrying it on me like this, I have my hand here and I know that they're going to stay closed, which is also something amazing, because if you're left-sided or right-sided, whichever way you wear your bag, you can have these all the way to this side and hold on to it that way as well. Obviously you can either keep them on top as well, so then you kind of have easy access to get inside. But yeah, so I think the zips is great, because honestly sometimes the zips are on one side, a bit like this one, the zips are on one side, and if you have it the opposite way, then the zip is kind of facing the back of you and you can't really keep an eye on it. So I really like the fact that you can do that. They do advertise that you can somewhat lock these by putting the zips through this what's it called, just piece of fabric, I guess, and it just makes it harder for people to unzip it, which I agree, but I also kind of don't agree. It's a weird one. I mean, yes, it kind of makes it harder, but it doesn't stop them at all. But obviously there is as well, if I just undo that, there is as well holes in the toggles, so if you did want to buy a little padlock, you can do that and padlock those together if you're leaving your bag anywhere, or I don't know, if you kind of want that extra security, you can do that as well. On the back, there's a handle on the back, so you can carry it a bit more like a bag like that, like a messenger bag, I guess. There's the feature here, so this is to have those, I can't remember the name of it, but it's something where you can kind of hang your camera off your bag. I'm personally not going to even try that, but that's for that. And I also think that'd be quite good to hang carabiners and things off, because I noticed with this bag I couldn't hang, for example, a water bottle or my puffer jacket, things like that. So I think when we go travelling, I'll probably have a carabiner on there and then hang extra things off of there, or maybe here otherwise. So that's the outside. If we talk a little bit about the strap, I'm sorry it's windy today, but I really wanted to film today. So the strap, I bought this one because you can have it as a fanny pack or bum bag, depending on what you call it, kind of like a belt, and wear it around your waist. That was one of the reasons I bought this size in particular rather than the 10 litre, but I've actually not used it, so I'm wondering whether I made a mistake there. I don't know. But something I do like is that you can have it quite a long strap and have it crossbody. I always have it crossbody and sort of sat at the front of me, and like I said, I hold the zips like this. The other option with this bag is got this really easy clasp fixture, where you can undo it, pull it to where you want, and then close it back up again, and it's that easy to make it shorter. And I think that is such a genius invention, because I think usually you have to kind of thread something through and then unthread it and play with that, or you have to play with buckles, and you know, like changing the length of a strap can sometimes be quite time consuming, not difficult, but just annoying. This makes it super easy to change as you're using it as well, which I think is great. The strap has a Peak Design logo on the top here in leather. It's padded, which is nice. I found it really comfortable actually to use, and it's not too thick, but it's also not kind of too thin. So yeah, that's the design basically. Now, like I said, you can have this as a waist belt. I've not tried that. I think the extra bits get tucked into there. Again, I've not really played with that at all. But I think you can even take these off and tuck them in behind there to kind of get rid of them if you want to do that. I think you would take it off here. Oh, let's see. And then you would tuck that in there and tuck that in there, so that then you just have a bag that you can carry like this. I'm not going to do that, honestly. I prefer carrying bags just over my shoulder, but that is an option if you want it. So yeah, generally I'm really impressed. Now I remember thinking it was quite expensive for a camera bag in terms of the price, but actually receiving it and seeing how good quality it is, I'm actually really impressed, and I would highly recommend it to everybody. I think the material is super durable and really nice. I also think the design is quite sleek. Now, like I said, it's not super girly and pink and glittery, which I wouldn't want anyway, but I do think it's quite a nice minimalist design bag for photographers who want to go traveling and carry just the basics, the everyday basics in here. I am considering getting one of their backpacks when I go traveling. I'm not sure if that's something I want to do or not. We will see. But overall, I think the quality is amazing. So now I'm going to talk to you about the two other items that I picked up from Peak Design. Now the first one is this wrist bracelet thing. I wasn't sure how much I would actually use this, honestly. I thought, well, I'll get it because it's only about $20 or $30 and I'll see. but actually I use this the most. I end up having my spare lens in my bag, and I have my camera on my wrist, and you just simply tighten it like this, and this is attached to your camera, and then you have it really securely on your hand then. And I used this recently in Perpignan in the south of France, and I must admit I was going around taking photographs of the buildings and of the windows and things like that, and obviously walking around a big city with a big camera and a big lens in your hand, and then people kind of looked at me like, some people looked a little bit dodgy, let's be honest, and they looked at me a bit like, oh, what camera is she using? But knowing that even if they'd have pulled it out from my hand, it still stuck to my wrist. Like the harder that they pull, the tighter it's going to go on my wrist. And I think because I was wearing a long shirt, they couldn't see it was actually attached to me. Not that anybody tried anything, but if they did try and steal it from me, that would have been a lot harder to do. Obviously they'd have to kind of come over to me, figure out what was on my wrist, figure out how to unlock it, and then take it off my hand. So it's not an easy option in terms of, well, it's great because people can't just steal it from your hands. So this has been actually really, really amazing, and I enjoy just holding onto my camera, the handle section of the camera, and knowing that if I did happen to drop it, it's going to be caught on my wrist. So I'm really, really enjoying using this, way more than I thought I would, honestly. So if you have any camera, this is an absolute must. I think it's brilliant. And then the other thing I picked up is this camera strap. Now the reason I got this is because the one that came on my Sony camera was itchy and awful. Like, it just hurt the back of my neck to use it. Ended up not using it a lot of the time because it was itchy, and I was kind of scared then of dropping it. So this is a really, really nice soft material. It's kind of silky almost. Like, obviously it's not silk, but it's really, really soft, honestly, and it feels so nice on the back of your neck. And I know that's a really weird thing to say, but yeah, I think these are great. And again, you can change the length of this quite easily. I just think the design is simple, easy, minimalist. I just think it's great. Again, I like the colour. I like the fact that they all match. They all have the grey with the bit of leather on there. So they all match together, which is great. And in terms of using these, this is the best part. It's super duper easy. Now I have my camera, obviously I'm filming on it. But what you would do is, if I get one of these, so Peak Design give you these little toggles, and you have one of these either side of your camera where your camera strap would usually go. So you attach it on there just by kind of going through, you know, like tying a little loop through it. So you have this attached to your camera, and what you would do is simply place that through there and clip it on, and then that's attached to your camera. Then if you want to remove it, press it down and remove it, and it's taken off, which means that you can switch and change between these really, really easily. Now with normal cameras, you have to kind of undo the strap and take it all off, and it kind of takes time, whereas with this you can switch and change between the wrist strap and the kind of neck strap really, really quickly and easily. So I really love that design. I just think these are so easy and so brilliant and so well designed. Like, I kind of read about them online, and people were saying, you know, how easy and simple it was and how kind of genius it is at the same time. So yeah, super duper happy, really, really happy, especially with this, well, all of it. Really happy with all of it, honestly. These also came with little bags. I haven't used the bags, honestly, just because I kind of use one and just have the other one in my bag. So I don't actually use these bags, but I guess that could be a nice way to keep them safe. Although honestly, I think that's kind of more cumbersome than just sticking it in as kind of that. Maybe it'd be good for this, I don't know. But they do come with bags in case you were curious, but I haven't actually used them myself. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually stop filming with my camera, and I'm going to carry on filming with my phone. So the audio is going to change, obviously, so I apologise for that in advance. But I'm going to show you exactly what I can fit in my bag and how I organise my bag in 2 different ways. Okay, so I'm now recording on my phone, so the audio might be slightly different, so I apologise for that. But I'm going to show you my 2 ways that I pack my bag. So first of all, I'm just removing both of these to start off with a kind of a fresh. Now the first way is for kind of everyday pack, everyday travel, everyday use. So what I do is I have my Tamron 70-180 in the corner here, in the side. So I'm just making sure that that's nicely padded, but that there's enough space. And then I have the Sony a6600 and the Tamron 17-70. And this I put face down into the bag like so. And that is kind of my everyday carry for the camera and the lens. So then when I'm out and about, I can kind of open my bag and quickly grab my camera and then start shooting there. It also means that if I want to change lenses, I just have to unscrew this and put it, kind of change it around. I feel like if this was this way, sometimes I do put it this way, a couple of things. It's hard to change the lenses, but also I feel like the lens hood gets caught on either this bit here, the separator, or also the inside. And it also means that if there's a battery there, it's harder to close. I was talking about this earlier. So I have a battery in this pocket here. With that lens like that, it does close, but it's a lot harder. Whereas if I have this way, that's a lot easier to close. There's a lot more space there. So I feel like it's better to have the lenses facing down. And then the camera along the bottom, just so that it's nice and protected rather than leaning all the way on the lens. And then I would close it that way. This I would keep at home, and anything like this I would have attached on there, so that can kind of go in there. So if I would have, I can show you how this works. So you simply slide it on, slide that onto your wrist, and then you're good to go and using it. And then to get it off, just simply slide it off and you're good. So I'd place this in there and kind of have the strap there in the side. This one I would either take it with me, keep it in a different bag. You can just keep it on top there. That does fit in as well. So that's my kind of everyday carry, that's my everyday setup, and that's what fits in there. So there's a little bit of space in terms of here. You could maybe fit, you know, a camera, a phone, anything like that. But in terms of any of the lenses and cameras, not really, honestly not really. So I'm now going to show you how I do it for travel, and it's kind of my second setup. Okay, so I just had to go inside and find the lens caps. So I'm just going to pop this back on there and that back on there. Perfect. Okay, so the way that I would pack it for traveling, so that things don't kind of get disrupted. Okay, so I would have it somewhat like this. So I would make sure that this one is as close to that lens as possible, just so that it's nice and snug. Pop this lens in on the other side and then do the same. Just make sure that's kind of as snug and as tight as possible so that they're nice and protected. And then the camera body, I can just slide down the middle. So in terms of space, this is how much I have. So I have my Tamron 70 to 180 here, my Tamron 17 to 70 here, and my camera in the middle. So there is some space there on top if you wanted a small lens. If you wanted anything like that, you could put these on top. There's a tiny bit of space there. I'd also feel like there's space to put my iPhone in here. So that's something else that I have space for. But that's generally how I have my bag both ways. So this is kind of the travel example, like I said, and then having just the camera and the lens there is my everyday kind of travel bag. So I really hope you enjoyed this video where I talked to you about my Peak Design Everyday Sling 6 litre in grey, along with the wrist strap and the neck strap. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. That really helps me out. Make sure you subscribe down below for more videos, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye!